Hoi hoi! It's louisity again, and for this video, I'm gonna be doing a rereading vlog of The Titan's Curse by Rick Riordan. Hooray! So, let's just cut the chase and begin rereading The Titan's Curse, and I'll be back for some updates. So right now I'm watching Toni Cruz's YouTube video where she assembles her TBR cart. It is super cool, y'all. Feel free to watch this video and feel free to subscribe to our channel. Hurrah to us Aklatubers! So an update from y'all. I already read the first two chapters of The Titan's Curse by Rick Riordan, or I should say reread. Now so far they found, Nico and Bianca. Now, at first I thought that Nico was the older one, but maybe it may be clarified towards the latter parts. But based on what I read so far, Percy thinks that, Bianca is the older one and Nico is the younger one. And we get to see them going to a party, and this Dr. Thorn person who comes out as another creature, a manticore. And so far what I'm feeling in this book is that there's a lot of girl power, women empowerment, because we get to meet Artemis and her crowd. Ooh, some shots fired. Well, I'm gonna go just do my normal evening routine, and I'm gonna catch you folks later. Whoa. So just a little update now. Annabeth disappeared. I hope they get to rescue Annabeth. And so far here in the Philippines, it's been raining on and off. So at least it made the weather a little bit colder. And another thing that I did not mention in my previous rereading vlog is that I don't think that they were able to tell who were the spies of Luke in Camp Half-Blood. Feel free to comment down below if they did. Maybe my brain just wasn't able to absorb it. So I'm thinking about I'm gonna be conceptualizing for another tag that I was tagged. Okay, so watch out for that video. So I'll catch folks later. Gosh, Luke is just so annoying. Just to make things a little bit different for my reading update. So I really am curious now in reading the Trials of Apollo, because I get to encounter Apollo in one of the previous chapters that I read, and I still have yet to read Blood of Olympus. So who knows, I might be able to read it soon. And it's pretty interesting how we see, Nico, as a young kid, and Talia's sassiness, both Nico's sort of innocence and his interest in mythomagic, yep, add spice to the narrative. So, and then from the last time that I read, the last point was, Luke again, it's just so annoying. I'm just so annoyed by him, who tricked Annabeth again, in Percy's stream. But we all know how Percy's streams go. They kind of they really happen. So I'm going to try to read more and catch folks later. So another rereading update. Now we're already in the scene where Zoe had no choice but to, have Percy come with them in their quest. They're on their way towards like the border of District of Columbia and Northern Virginia. They're on their way to Alexandria, or they're in Alexandria already. Ooh, I got a little tongue-tied. But anyway, so far I must say that, the confrontation or altercation or discussion scenes, whatever you want to call them, are quite intense. The one during the capture the flag between Talia and Percy, with the lightning rod and the waves. Ooh, they were pretty intense. And I must say that, what happened in the mall was really, very strong. And I wonder who this general is, kind of like, putting Luke down, and yeah, I don't really like Luke, how I feel about him. But you know what? Here's another intense part, because I already read this before. As you all know, this is a rereading vlog. That part where Nico asked, Percy to promise to keep Bianca safe, and I kind of know what's gonna happen next. So in terms of like, yeah, I have like a different kind of feel about it, and it's like, one of those things wherein you just kind of like want to read the parts that that it's not exactly the parts that are like the nicest ones, if you know what I mean by nicest. Like, in terms of the situation itself, it's not nice, but I think that's what makes a great book. It makes you feel the not so nicest, the tragedy. So I'm gonna be rereading that part, but I'm still, still kind of like barely half of it at the moment. So I still have a long way to go, and a lot of things are gonna happen. So I'll catch folks later. By the way, it's been raining on and off here in the Philippines, so the weather is kind of quirky these days. So there you can see that I just uploaded my rereading vlog of The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. So yeah, I hope that you folks get to enjoy it. Oh, I realized that I had a typo. I'll fix that one for you folks. There you go, it is fixed. Hoorah! So before I went to bed last night, I read a lot of pages. I'm already in page 199. And a lot of things happened, They went to New Mexico, and they went to this town where I actually tried researching it, and it is very, it has a lot of trees, it's very like lush green, if that's what you call it. And they went somewhere like in the border of New Mexico and Arizona. Okay, so here are the things that I read so far that are interesting. Aphrodite appeared and talked about love, how love can kind of like change things. So I really am hoping, here in life, we become more loving and things are just going to be better. She was able to add, spice in the narrative, which is like really cool. And the thing about, there is a part there that says like Gila, Arizona, and Gila Creek, I believe. It reminded me of the eagle, because like eagle in Filipino is Aguila. And the thing is, there was this creature named Talos who has some sort of like claws, just gonna stomp you. Kind of reminded me of talons, like claws, like it shouldn't say round because that's a cat, but like the bird talons, And something happened to Bianca, and I'm pretty sure this wasn't it, but who knows? I'll just check out and find out during my reread. So we'll see what's gonna happen next. So catch folks later. Oh, by the way, today is Independence Day here in the Philippines. One thing that I noticed between Zoe and Bianca is it's obvious that they have existed for quite a long time. And speaking of, I would like to point out something. We're gonna fast forward a bit since I already read the Heroes of the Olympus. Hazel, yeah, knew that now that I kind of had a refresh that uh, Bianca already existed years ago because I know that Hazel is a sibling of Nico and Nico is a sibling of Bianca, so I assume they've existed for quite some time already in life. And also, I love the fact that Percy Jackson, the Olympian series, and Rick Riordan basically introduces me to different places in the United States. We are now in the Hoover Dam near the Colorado River, kind of like in the border of Arizona and Nevada, and Boulder City, Nevada. So that was an exciting part. We get to meet Rachel Elizabeth Dare, the unusual mortal, who can see through the mist, just like the mother of Percy Jackson. And yeah, they already went to San Francisco. They get to meet Nereus, and they're about to have another encounter with Dr. Thorne. So I'm looking forward how all these things are going to happen. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward about how they're going to be able to rescue Annabeth. And I am really looking forward to read that part about meeting Nico again and hearing the not so good news. You see, that's the thing about rereading. You kind of know already what's going to happen. So, and you kind of like just want to get over that part. But overall, so far the story is kind of like on and off. Like there were parts where they were intense. These scenes lately, not as like intense as how I perceived it to be. But yeah, we'll see how I will feel overall with my reread of The Titan's Curse. Cool. So, some reading update. Now we got to meet Annabeth's parents, and I actually find them quite nice. Maybe they've learned throughout the years or throughout time that, they have to be more loving and accepting of Annabeth. And, Percy and the gang told what happened, and now they are going to Mount Talampites or Tamalpites. Oh my gosh, I get really tongue-tied. Anyway, it's that mountain somewhere like in the northern part of Golden Gate Bridge, and they get to meet Atlas, who is the general. Now, when I thought about Atlas, I'm thinking about like the map or the word, like the book wherein there's like different maps. So I guess that is why, um, that's the name. It's kind of like the general has this like conqueror or conquering, trait of like trying to conquer the world. So I guess that kind of suits it. And what else can I think about? Yeah, and they gotta, save Artemis. And, this book, the cool thing about Rick Riordan, aside from like taking us to different places, is that it's like there's like a shocker, like a boom, 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 you know. And you folks gotta read it for you to find out. So catch folks later. Whoa. And also, there's like a part here wherein, one of the cars that is owned by Annabeth's dad, the Volkswagen, got, destroyed. And when these things happen in stories, like whether in movies or books or whatever, media or TV shows, I tend to think about, you know, like the resources, like gosh, the property was ruined. I wish it could be salvaged and saved. So yeah, I just feel so bad for that Volkswagen. And yeah, hopefully there's insurance, and hopefully, it can be salvaged. And I just really always hope like there's less destruction or less casualty when things happen in stories. I just have to say that there are so many feels right now, so many emotions. That part between Zoe and Artemis, it was just really emotional, as well as that part where Annabeth and her dad hug. That was just super sweet. And for some reason, when Blackjack and the other like Pegasi came, I felt like I was gonna be watching, a movie, and I think that, and I hope Disney's gonna do a great job executing these scenes. It's like I can really see it like per chapter, per episode. So I'm definitely looking forward for that one. Folks, I'm literally about to read that part where Percy's gonna tell Nico what happened to Bianca. So I just read The Titan's Curse by Rick Riordan. Overall, I enjoyed it. Now that last scene, I believe it will play a huge part in how things will be running in the succeeding books, and I'm definitely looking forward to rediscover and refresh my memory about what happened to the last two books. So yeah, overall I'd say that this book really oozes a lot of femme fatale, and I kind of found out like why the title of the third book is like the Titan's Curse. What happened to Atlas, being the Titan, Zoe's father. But for me, I feel that there could have been like another title, probably the hunt, like the female hunter or the huntress search or something. I felt like it would be more suitable to the overall, thing that happened for this book. But yeah, well, the Titan's Curse. So we got to find out, how it is going to be resolved, and Luke's circumstance was kind of like an unusual one. And to me, compared to the Sea of Monsters, this was a little bit more intense. However, the Lightning Thief for me still, I think, holds the best so far, because it had this sort of like refreshing, vibe. You just feel so great coming into it again. But this one's pretty cool. Like, I love the intensity of the action. Of the action scenes and all the altercations, the the encounters. They're very intense. So if that's what you're looking for, I bet that this may be one of your top picks. It would be your like favorite one in the series. So well, I hope you folks will enjoy. Comment down below if you have read, or if you're just like me, rereading the Percy Jackson The Olympian series. If you've reread or read The Titan's Curse, feel free to comment down below your thoughts about it. By the way, I'm giving The Titan's Curse 4.5 out of 5 stars. So I guess that's about it. If you folks like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, click that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon somewhere down there to keep yourselves posted about my videos. And I'll also be putting down the links and handles of my social media accounts, so feel free to check me out and follow me there as well. As always, thank you super much for watching. Let us keep in our minds and hearts to be loving and kind, and unleash the reader in you. Bye, y'all.